He was a Giant. And he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron.
What's going on, man? We repping these hats 4-1.
4-1.
Cowboys and the Giants, man. What a great victory this week.
And I'm hot today. I'm on fire because there's certain things in the NFL.
What are you hot about, first of all? Because I told you the Giants were going to beat the Green Bay Packers.
And they did.
Across the pond.
But those Cowboys beat the Rams. And you didn't say that. You gave the Rams all that.
Matthew Stafford, man, they put it on him. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they did. They really did. But we'll get back to that real soon. Yeah. Talk about what's going on and what's bothering me is this sack rule. I mean, I do not understand this. I do not totally understand it. The first one was against Tampa Bay with Grady Jarrett.
Yep.
Grady Jarrett did not do any violent act. He rolled Tom Brady over. And here's the thing. Did you realize that there were more roughing the passer calls against Aaron Rodgers than Tom Brady?
Oh, yeah.
But that's still not right. Right is right, wrong is wrong. He did nothing that looked like roughing. That determined the game because the Atlanta Falcons would have had the opportunity to get the ball back.
Yeah.
They stopped them. It was third down.
You know, we talked about a couple of weeks back about these referees, the kind of referees that you have in these games. Whether they're going to call certain penalties, are they going to protect the quarterback, are they going to call pass interference? Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point to where these penalties are really taking a lot away from the game.
I really do.
And being a defensive player, especially the way it's so quick and so fast out there, and things happen like that. And you have to give credit to the referees. They've been pointing on majority of the calls.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, this weekend was two games that was bad.
Yeah, and they were crucial calls.
Yeah.
There were a couple of crucial calls. Obviously, we all know about what happened in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Chiefs and Chris Jones.
Right.
And here's the thing. This is the first time in NFL history that a defensive lineman sacked the quarterback, got the ball, fell down, and they called roughing the quarterback. He had the ball in his hand before they got to the ground.
No doubt, because he actually his left hand helped him not put all his body weight on top of it.
Exactly. And he tried to stop him from falling on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And I thought that was totally a bad call. David Carr, I mean, everybody knows that was a bad call.
Yeah.
But there was some interesting stuff going on, and I think there has to be a happy medium. I want the quarterbacks because you don't want to see the Mahomes and Tua Tagovailoa. You don't want to see them on the sidelines. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But there's also got to be a happy medium. Those weren't violent plays.
Right. They wasn't. That's part of football. And the one thing that I like about the Kansas City game, the fans continue to let the referees know.
Man, that was crazy. Even Troy Aikman said it, and Troy had concussions before.
Yeah.
And he got in trouble for saying what he was thinking. And that's the problem these days.
You can't say certain things on TV anymore.
Yeah, and everything is so controversial, and everybody's so politically correct. He was just honestly making an opinion. It was the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, are we playing flag football? We're going to put flags on the quarterback? They don't do it on the receivers. They don't.
They don't.
I mean, let's be honest. On the running backs, I mean, you're starting a flag football league that's going to go into the Olympics.
Yeah,
that might be the way football's headed.
Hey, it might be geared towards flag and pulling the flags.
Yeah.
No, but for real though, they really got to be more I guess the rules committee got to be more involved. They got to be quicker on the replay calls and things like that. They just got to have a good rule committee, which they do, and they just got to be more assertive and make sure that this don't interrupt the play of the game and the fun of the game.
I agree, because we're taking away from the game, and I understand the safeties, and I understand because of CTE and various injuries. I understand, but we can't take the game. The game is a violent game.
Because I want to ask you, when you're a defensive lineman, do you intentionally, when you go for the sacks and you're one of those special guys who have over 100 sacks in his career, do you put your whole body weight when you?
No, what you do is you're trying to get the ball out.
Okay.
A lot of times when you hit them,
right.
The reason you're impacting them so hard, you're trying to make them lose the ball.
Right. And a lot of people don't know this about defensive linemen too. On the skill set and those dummies and those moves and the swim moves and things that you guys have. Talk a little bit about that. Give us a little bit more in depth about.
Well, everything is, especially on defensive ends, you play on edges. And if you can get the offensive lineman to turn, just like you saw with Micah Parsons on that last sack, that is the fastest way to get to the quarterback.
Right.
And that's the thing. So you work your hands, you worked it. And Aaron Donald actually did it against the rookie for the Cowboys.
Right.
He did it against him. But when you get that edge and you get them to turn, you try to get them to cross their feet. And once you get them to cross their feet, they have no balance and they can't recover.
Right.
That's the thing. And then you know they're going to try to grab you and hold you. So you have to take the hands off you. It's like a lot like the Karate Kid when they wax off, wax on.
Wax off, wax on, wax
that's
off.
what it is.
I know Max Cosby, he have really upped his game with the Raiders.
He's leading the league in sacks and tackles for loss.
Yeah, he's really playing well. And of course, Michael Parsons, man, can't nobody stop him. He's just amazing. Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. It's going to be interesting on Philly's got a little banged up in the offensive line, how they're going to block him.
Right.
Because Goddard is more of a receiver than a blocker, but I'm sure they're going to try to chip him.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to try to do that. But another one, this is pertaining to your position. Davante Adams was walking off the field, and he pushed a cameraman.
Yeah, photographer.
Yeah. I guess it's the city of Green Bay filed a misdemeanor against him.
They charged him with a misdemeanor assault. And whatever that means, I don't know. But, one of the things that when players are so competitive and they lose games, and I've been in that position where I said some cuss words and things like that, and you really have to take those things back. But when you're walking off the field and you're upset and you lose the game by 1 point and you've always been in the game and everything is just fired up about the whole purpose of losing. And some guys just hate losing. I mean, it just don't set well with them. It might take them 30 minutes to cool down. It might take them after they shower to cool down. But it's one of those things. And so these people that hadn't walked in their shoes before, and they might say some type of comment. Oh man, you should have caught that pass, or you should have scored. Blah, blah, blah. You don't know what was said. So I wasn't actually there, but I know that Devontae is never one of those guys who've been disrespectful.
Exactly.
But he did apologize to the photographer. So,
but here's the thing that bothers me, and I'm going to be honest with you. Davante Adams was wrong. We all know that. He shouldn't have never pushed the cameraman.
Yeah.
But they're making a bigger issue out of this than what Brett Favre did in Mississippi with the welfare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's just the reality of it. They're making a big issue of that.
Right.
Brett Favre was wrong. Davante Adams was wrong. And two wrongs don't make a right.
And these players got to realize you're in the spotlight. You got a name, got a reputation, and you got certain people trying to get lawsuits and things like that.
Yeah, so you're right.
You have to really be really thoughtful and mindful of some of the things that you have to react to some situations. Speaking
of that, a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Football, Bobby Wagner tackled that protester. The protester sued him and said he was having concussion syndromes. He was the one who was illegal, walking and running.
They need to go put him in a psychiatric ward or something because
that is crazy.
He had no business running on the field in the first place.
No.
But I knew that was gonna come because that's what our society have turned to. All this nonsense and this violence and the people just reacting and craziness is going on. You have to really be cautious. You have to be mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah, you really do, and who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You got to be really careful these days. But here's another thing. We've been talking, we got a little bit on the beginning of the show about the Giants. Did you realize that the NFC East is they have the best record of any division, even with Washington losing?
Yeah.
The AFC at West, who we thought was going to be good, I think they have a 500 record.
Right.
And then, we thought, obviously.
But you know what? We always talk about the NFC East, how competitive that the NFC East is. And in a given week, you're going to be beat. And what I love about the NFC East, it hadn't been a back-to-back NFC East division champion since 2009. So, this
year.
Yeah.
When the Cowboys win it, so they will be.
Let me finish my conversation.
Until this year.
You know the Cowboys ain't gonna win.
I know the Cowboys gonna win. I know they're gonna win. I'm gonna go back.
You got the Eagles. You got the Eagles and the Giants. Eagles and the Giants.
No, I synced it with my own eyes. The Cowboys are gonna win. I synced it.
But Jerry Jones will come out that press box. Jerry Jones might try to jump out the press box when they start losing. Hey,
no,
right now,
but he ain't coming out of the press box in Philly.
Hey, right now he's happy because Cowboy merchandise is selling all over. I walked through the airport today when I flew back from DC, and everybody over there buying them down Cowboy stuff.
Yeah. And they don't have any Cooper Rush jerseys. Did you know that? They don't have any Cooper Rush jerseys.
I bet they're going to get some. I bet you they'll be selling if they had some. Because everybody talk about Cooper.
And you got to give the guy credit, but he is managing the game.
Right.
He's not making bad plays.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing about
But he had those 2 interceptions that they called that they had penalties on. So but no, that's good though. He don't have no interceptions. He don't want he's 5-0. He's 5-0.
2 sack teams, and they're the top 2 turnover teams. They have the best turnover margins, which is pretty. That's going to be interesting.
And we always talked about defense winning championships, and you got to give the credit to Dallas defense. They are playing.
Philly's defense is just as good. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Yeah.
Today, but Philly, it's going to be interesting. But let's get back. We'll talk about that a little later. Let's get back to the Giants, the New York Football Giants. No receiver. Shoot, you don't even know the names of the receivers they were playing with.
Well,
see?
Number 86. Hey, all I know, we get the job done.
You got it done, but you don't even know the receivers.
Yes, I do.
I never heard of
Darian, and then number 15, I'm 13. He been playing good. Seals, I think. But yeah, I had pulled it up. I had pulled it up. I've been looking at the power ranking. I've been looking at the power ranking today.
I'm doing my hat in honor of Dan Quinn.
Good.
I'm doing it, Dan Quinn. That Dan Quinn look.
Everybody, let me tell you what I've been. Everybody, I've been in Washington D.C. the last 3 days.
Yeah,
we had our NFLPA leadership conference. We have 34 chapters across the country. So we've been talking about pensions, benefits. We're talking about elections coming up. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about program resources, discount. So everybody went back to their prospective chapters to give guys updates on things that's going on. So people don't understand. It's a big commitment to do some things, with the retired players as well. We got, 20,000 guys retired, and but I just wanted to give an update to let y'all know that we talking about concussions protocol, help and resources, and the NFL network, hospital network. Every city have a hospital network. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to say that to let y'all know that we busy. We busy too. I'm proud. I want to say the NFLPA fraternity guys, good job out there. Keep working hard for your chapters and get all the players, keep them informed on everything that they earn and while they're playing the game of football.
Yeah, and Jason was he's all happy because Minnesota won.
Minnesota is what 3-2.
Yeah, they but the Cowboys played at Minnesota this week in Minnesota. That was Cooper Rush's first win.
The Vikings are really 4-1. The Vikings are 4-1.
Are they 4-1?
Yeah, they only lost one game.
Wow.
Yeah,
and Jason's all excited, but the Cowboys play him at night, and we know what Kirk Cousins is night. Once the sun goes down, he goes down.
But let me tell you something. We did predict the Vikings to be real good. And I said the Vikings might end up winning the NFC North. I said that. We did talk about it. Hey, I know it's 4-1. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you reminding me. I
know Jason knows.
But I said 3-2 just to make him make a comment. So I make sure that he's listening. He needs to be listening.
But yeah, the Vikings are playing well, but they struggle on the road too.
Yeah.
They don't play the same as they do at home. But once they get on the road, but at 4-1, they ain't struggling too much, are they?
Cooks had a good game this week. So the running back got their mojo back. They got the running
team, so we better have a good chick game.
They got the mojo going.
Yeah, I put them in a different position, but Dalvin Cook played good.
But for real though, we both said this year you got to watch out for the Vikings. We said it before the season started.
So Jason, we gave you credit on that one, and then you said Green Bay doesn't play well on the road. You were right about that. So
yeah, and Jason, you got to continue to work Jim a little bit out, work him out a little bit harder. He might be getting 5 pounds, getting fat over here.
Nah. You said, hey. Stick to the guns.
you know what they say in the old days? TV makes you look bigger. But Jason, good job, man. I'm proud of your Vikings, and I know you're sleeping good at night now.
Jason, they got a chance, but they run into those Cowboys, and that's going to be into the Vikings. But I'm glad because Aaron Rodgers right now is not owning anybody. He always says, he goes, we own this, like Chicago. I'm telling you, mark my words, Justin Fields is going to be a big-time NFL quarterback.
I said that coming out of college. I predicted that.
I'm telling you, everybody trying to knock that kid. That kid has got something to him. He's like Daniel Jones.
I said that when he came out of Ohio State. I did. I said I ranked this guy way above some of the guys that went before him.
Yeah, and he's not going to win a lot of games this year, but when they start putting pieces around him, that kid's going to be good because there's something. I mean, he can make some plays. And they were talking about his study habits. He's kind of like the Mannings and the Bradys. He gets in there early and he studies. He knows the game now.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's going to get better. Just a matter of time before he.
And that's what the coach was saying. Jason, I'm going to tell you what. I'd rather play Justin Fields now in 2 years now. And here's the one that shocked me out of the young quarterbacks is Zach Wilson coming back from that injury and what the Jets did. And you can say, Tua wasn't playing, Bridgewater got hurt, but the same thing happened with New England, right?
Yeah. Yep.
New England almost won the game against Green Bay, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So I think that obviously the Miami suffered, but they still got Tyreek Hill. They still got Waddle.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know. I don't know how Miami's going to be now.
Well, they got to get Tua back. I don't know how long ago with this concussion protocol, but they definitely, they miss him, and they don't have the same chemistry with him, without him. So.
Disappointing thing, and I know the concussions and everything, but the Teddy Bridgewater, because unless it was something we didn't see, that didn't look like it was something that would give you a concussion. But I don't know. But I mean, it didn't look like he banged his head at all because they were
on that safety in the end zone.
Yeah. To me, it didn't look like it, but maybe it was something that they didn't put on camera because the spotter saw something.
Yeah, maybe so.
And I'm sure they're kind of spooked whatever what happened with Tua. So that's what I'm thinking. So that's, and I understand protocols because the NFL Players Association and the NFL management is looking at some, and they probably told the refs, hey, if it's close, call it.
Yeah.
But I've never, and I don't know if I've never seen so many roughing the passer calls when you sack the quarterback. I've never seen that before. And I thought, in my opinion, the hit and the guy played for me, Josh Tupou, was worse than any hit that I saw on any of these players this week.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get off of that,
Yeah.
Speaking of unusual stuff, somebody had 10 years from now, quarterbacks will be wearing flags. We already said that, Jason. We already said that.
Well, they definitely going to be wearing flags in the Pro Bowl game, in the All-Star game.
The skills game. Now,
it's not
it's skills game.
What the skills game?
What do you think
about the Thursday night game?
Huh?
The Colts and the Broncos.
What about them?
That was a sorry game.
Yeah, it was. That was bad. But then guess who's playing this? Washington versus Chicago. That's the Thursday night game. Amazon's probably saying, what the heck? Why did they give us these games?
Yeah, well, Washington and Chicago playing good football, though.
I think so. I think Chicago would win that game. That's just me.
Well, in the NFL, we already have seen our first coach get fired this past week.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that, Matt Rule. But he's got a bright future because he'll go back. He'll be like Nick Saban, which he didn't get fired, but he'll go back to college and be very successful regardless of what program he goes to.
Yeah.
And he's got quite a bit of money. I think his buyout was like $62 hours.
It was a lot. Yeah. He had a 7-year contract.
Yeah. And then here's the interesting thing. They hired Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks was a one and done in Arizona, if you remember.
Yeah.
So, and then Steve fired the special teams coach and the defensive coordinator. So
he must have knew something was wrong with something that they were doing. So he got rid of him immediately.
And then Baker Mayfield is out a couple weeks with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, high ankle sprain. Yeah,
they're going to start PJ Walker.
PJ. Yeah,
they're going to start him, and then Sam.
What about Sam Darnold? Is he not?
He's not ready to come back. They say.
Okay.
He's still injured, so they got some issues.
Well, that they were saying too that the Panther owner is a guy that kind of hard to play for.
Yeah, and then they were talking about trading McCaffrey. I was looking at him, or there was another team. It wasn't the Giants. It was another team, Buffalo, and somebody else was looking at him, possibly picking him up if they trade him.
Well, the Patriots need somebody.
I think it might have been it was San Francisco. It was San Francisco.
Yeah.
But the Patriots need somebody, and the Arizona Cardinals are decimated with their running.
Well, one of the things that people got to start looking out for, them 49ers are coming. They looking pretty good.
Yeah. They are looking good.
Yeah.
They are looking good. And that is true. The 49ers are looking very good. Look at
we had the sorry game Thursday night. Colts won 12-9. And man, they was all over Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that game?
Whew. I didn't think it was a very good game like you did. Here's the thing that I learned from coaching is you got to find out what the player does well.
Yeah.
You can't fit him in a square box. You have to find out what he does well. And that has been the problem there is they don't work on what Russell does well. They work on stuff. He was at Green Bay, Hackett, and he's trying to do that stuff. Well, Russell doesn't do that.
Yeah.
They need to look at Seattle's film.
Yeah.
Find out what he did well in Seattle.
They ran a lot of vertical routes in Seattle.
Exactly. And things like that. Take advantage of his abilities.
Yeah.
Because now they're saying he might have torn a lat.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's getting frustrated with it. But they got to find out what he does well. And then that's what they got in all those plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got to find a running back. Melvin Gordon is leading the league in turnovers.
Yeah. He's not playing with confidence.
No. So they got to find that. San Francisco, and I'm just looking at some of the games this week. We talked a little bit about the Thursday night game with Washington and Chicago. I'm going to take Chicago on that.
Yeah, I'd take Chicago too.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields is going to be a good quarterback.
But you know what? The Titans had a hard go at it against the Commandos.
They should have won. The Commandos should have won. Yeah. But that's where Wentz threw that interception on the goal line.
Well, I'm going to go and take Washington I'm going to take Washington because the NFC East will be tight week 17.
I'm going to go, and that's what I always said. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk about a little later, the Cowboys and the Eagles. It really doesn't matter who wins because it's going to be so tight. It's going to be the second half of the season.
It's a long run. Yeah.
So you're taking Washington. I'm taking Chicago.
Okay.
Let's talk about San Francisco and Atlanta. Atlanta is kind of a sneaky team. They're better than you think.
Yeah.
If they're, like I said, they should have had an opportunity to beat Tampa Bay.
Right.
They got an awful call. That awful call on Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
And they didn't have not Kylie Irving, Pitts. He was out, Kyrie Pitts, with a hamstring.
Pitts was out.
Yeah, with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, and one thing about the Falcons, they've been playing good, solid football. They really have.
They play hard
because they coach. I just love the coach. I just love.
Yeah, I knew you liked the coach, the FedEx man.
Yeah,
Arthur Smith.
Yeah, Smithy. Yeah.
Here's a game that's going to be interesting: New York at Green Bay.
New York at Green Bay.
New York Jets.
Well, Green Bay they gonna play good at home because they got to prove themselves, and I just think, and the one good thing about the Jets, they are exciting. They've been in every game. You got to put some points up to beat them. I just think they got a surplus of coaches that's doing well, and I just see that the Jets it's gonna be they got their mojo. They playing with confidence. They 3-2.
Yeah, they are. And there's Breece Hall, that running back is running well, and their young receivers are doing well. And
Zach Wilson, you just mentioned Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, and they're playing really good on defense. I don't know. I'm gonna.
Did you go Green Bay?
It's hard to beat Green Bay and.
Well, it might be one of those 40 to 30 games, something like that.
You think so? You think
Green Bay gonna put some points up?
But Green Bay hasn't been putting a lot of points up. If you look at it,
they hadn't been. The offense hadn't been the same.
And I think the one thing about Jets, they can cover. They can take receivers out of the game.
Jets got some good personnel. They, people don't realize this, but when the season started, the Jets had more people taking off their practice roster than any other NFL team.
I remember that. Hey, Mac.
You're on mute.
Yeah, you got to unmute yourself.
So what's going on?
What's up? We're talking about the games this week.
Yeah, let's talk about how bad Dallas is right now. Let's talk about let's talk
about it.
Let's talk how bad Minnesota's going to beat Dallas. Dallas, you got Cooper Rush, you got an old running back, you got a guy that can't catch the ball.
Yes.
I mean, you guys are in a lot of trouble.
We are in a lot of trouble.
You are.
I'm surprised we won one game.
I know. And
you should be 2-3. You should be 2-3.
Yes.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we're not.
Right.
We have our running backs ran for a total 178 yards last week. Our quarterback threw for 108.
Right.
Our defense sacked Stafford 5 times, forced him into fumbles. They can't. The Rams can't run the ball.
The Rams ain't tackling nobody though. After they get past the defensive linemen, their linebackers are nowhere, and the safeties and the cornerbacks ain't gonna tackle. So
if the Giants win and they can't tackle nobody.
Oh,
but we can't back them no more. The Giants are playing good defense.
Yes.
We should have beat the dang Cowboys. We should have beat the Cowboys.
Yes. And
you should have, but you didn't.
And the Eagles, I'm tired of hearing about the Eagles from Pags. The Eagles are okay. Let's give them an okay, all right? There is no way they're number one team in the NFL.
They're the only undefeated team.
And the kicker missed the field goal at the end of the game. Would have been an overtime game. Should have been an overtime game.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. In
so Arizona. I don't hear about the Eagles being number one. They're number one where? I mean that they're in a strong conference, and they're just lucky to be undefeated right now.
Mm-hmm. And they are third in the power ranking. They got the Bills and the Chiefs ahead of them.
Yes. Yeah. But look at who they're playing too. Detroit, who's under 500. Minnesota is the only loss they have is against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Washington, we know about Washington. Jacksonville lost to Houston Texans. Yeah.
Saw that.
Jacksonville lost to Arizona is terrible.
You don't know what you're gonna get with Arizona. You really don't know.
But even though they're not very good,
they're gonna be better when DeAndre Hopkins come back.
Don't believe that. Don't believe
that.
They can't run the ball, and they're not very good on defense.
Yes, and the Jets. Oh my God, this team is exciting as hell. I mean,
yeah, they are.
Oh man, Zach Wilson. Listen, I didn't think Zach Wilson was going to mount.
I didn't think he was going to be that good this fast.
I told everybody he's an interception machine, and he's just doing it. He's got a lot of guts, and then he's quite a leader.
Well, sometimes when you get hurt and you see a couple of games from the sideline, that can wake you up.
Yeah,
I agree.
But I got to give the Eagles credit. They are 6-0 or 5-0. They're 5-0, but we're going to find out about the Cowboys this week, and we're going to find out about the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, did you realize last year that the Cowboys averaged over 45 points against the Eagles? And the excuse is going to be, I know what Pack's excuse again. Well, we didn't play anybody the second game. You played everybody the first game in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And that's the good thing. Dallas only has one division opponent in the second half of the season on the road, and that's Washington, the Commanders.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to hear Micah Parsons is the second coming LT. He is he's not even.
He's better than LT.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's better than LT.
Oh my God. There is no way. LT puts him to shame. I mean, LT is the greatest. Probably the greatest football player of all time. I'll say that.
He's up there.
He's up there. I wouldn't say the greatest.
He's up there.
Well,
he's one of the greatest of all time. And that was schematically what they did with him because they had never seen anything like him.
Yeah. They let him go.
He changed the game.
Yeah.
He changed the game.
And what are we going to do?
But you know what? The first year LT played, they weren't even recording sacks. I don't think.
No, they weren't. That was 1983, if I'm not mistaken. No, 81.
No, he came in
81.
They started in 1982.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you, my wife hates Tom Brady. She thinks he's the biggest baby to ever get on a football field. I agree with her. I mean, what
Well,
is
here's the thing. You can say what you want, but the guy did win, 6 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
And he went to 8?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give the guy credit.
Well, that's a lot to do with Bill Belichick.
He is a big baby, though. He is a big.
Yeah,
we need to give him a pacifier.
Have you ever seen Boomer Esiason? Talk about a big baby.
Oh,
Boomer
huge.
Huge baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but some quarterbacks are like, they whine and whine until they get their way.
No wonder why Giselle left him. I mean, he's probably crying all the time. Shut up, Tommy. Stop with the crying. Go out there and play some football that you retired from.
He's kind of like Kirk Cousins, Jason. Always crying and whining. Especially at night.
Giselle had to put a diaper on him or something. Stop trying to put this diaper on you, Tom. I'm tired. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah,
that's really controversial. You guys are controversial now.
Thank you.
we see it from a New York perspective. You know, we East Coast, baby. East Coast.
Yes, exactly.
But that's why you probably hate the Cowboys, because the Cowboys have won the division in the NFC East.
Cowboys, we already know they won't win this year. No back-to-back win, baby. I tell you that now.
That's since 2006 with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Something like that.
When the Cowboys win it, just like you said, you had picked against the Cowboys every week, you two.
Yes.
Picked against them every week, and they've won. So make sure you pick against them this week.
I will.
And then Pags is going to say that.
You know what? Hey, Matt, here's what's going to happen, Matt. 2020 going to be a tie.
well, let me ask you guys a question. Who is the better team? The better team right now, Dallas or Philadelphia?
Philadelphia. But that doesn't mean anything.
All right.
It doesn't mean anything when you play the game. You got to play the game.
I think Dallas might be the better team, because I look at the defensive side. Their defense, they scored a touchdown this past week. And so I'm thinking that their defense have positioned them to win.
Can they stop A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Miles Sanders on a consistent basis? And then you got to worry about, obviously, Hurts running. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's why they have some offensive talent.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on CeeDee Lamb. I like that Gallup's back. Dalton Schultz is out.
CeeDee Lamb the real deal. I don't care what you say.
We'll see this week. And I'm just being honest on it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything, because it seems like Dallas is rising to the occasion. I'm going to pick Dallas.
The good thing, too, they running game doesn't improve.
Yeah. And everybody was criticizing their offensive line, and their offensive line is actually playing good. The rookie is playing really good.
What is this here? Did they put it on a spy? I mean, what does Dallas do to stop Hurts?
I told Jason this morning when we were working out that we tried that against Randall Cunningham, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
Spiders, and you got to have 4 guys, and you got to close the pocket on them. You got to make sure that you squeeze the pocket on them, because you're always going to be one gap short.
Right.
Because there's 5 against 4. But you have to squeeze the pocket on them, because Jalen Hurts will hurt you more with his legs than his arm.
Well, Michael Parsons can run him down, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then DeMarcus Ware could in the Duran slants.
Yeah.
The thing that Dallas is doing effective, people don't realize, is they're playing more than 4 defensive linemen. So they're keeping those linemen fresh. And that is what we do.
Yeah, they're rotating.
That's the thing. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to squeeze the pocket on him and give him – he has to pick the right hole. And he's going to get some yardage. Let's not kid ourselves. He's going to get some yardage. But where he's killing you at is if he can get A.J. Brown in the game, if he can get Hurts, if he can get Goddard, then they have the advantage. But
another question for you guys.
Yeah.
2 quarterbacks. You got Patrick Mahomes, of course, the unbelievable quarterback, and Josh Allen, who has been playing unbelievable ball. I mean, Josh Allen, what was that, 102-yard touchdown pass?
Yeah. To Gabe Davis.
Yeah. And of course, that flip by Patrick Mahomes into the end zone. I mean, that guy is just he's a magician. These two teams are going to play.
But I think I'm going to give the advantage to Buffalo, and I'm going to give you a reason why.
Okay.
I think that Mahomes is and both of those guys, Allen and Mahomes, are once in a generation quarterbacks for those teams. But I think on there, the defense, Buffalo's defense is better than Kansas City's defense. And you got those Diggs and Davis are hard to cover.
Yeah.
They are hard. And I think they're better than the Kansas. And Mahomes makes plays. That's not the thing. But I just think Buffalo's got more talent on that team.
Buffalo got more talent, but I'm going to take Kansas City. I just think Kansas City got
think Buffalo.
They got it in with the coaches.
Kansas City's playing with 2 rookie corners, and you see what happened to them last week against Devontae Adams.
They learning.
Oh yeah, they're gonna learn to not hold, not to pass interference.
Who's gonna cover
Kansas City? Kansas City. If you don't score 40 points, you ain't gonna beat Kansas City. If you don't score 40 points.
Who's gonna cover Kelsey?
Nobody.
Yeah.
That's right.
But he only got 25 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. He only got 25 yards.
It doesn't matter. They double him too, and he's still getting open.
Yeah.
He's good now.
Yeah.
They'll take care of him. Leslie's got a plan for him. Leslie Frazier. I'm still going with Buffalo. It's at Kansas City. It's at Kansas City.
So you can change your pick if you want.
No, I'm going to Buffalo.
It's gonna be Kansas City gonna win that game.
Rough buff. Yeah. Rough buff. Kansas. We're going to Kansas City and getting it. Rough buff.
Well, you saw what happened with Jones, right? Jones, 340 pounds, runs amazing for a man his size.
Yeah.
Pulls up.
He was 325.
He pulls up, and he doesn't really go hard on the guy. Uses his hands and to stop him from falling on top of the guy. And he gets called for roughing the passer anyway.
And this is the first time in NFL history, Mac, that this has happened. He took the ball out of his hands before they went to the ground.
Yep.
It was a fumble. So now he falls. The quarterback, David Carr, is under him, and they call that. And he was trying to buffer it so he didn't fall on him. That was the most ridiculous call. They should
have replayed that game. They should have replayed that, and they would have saw clearly that it was a legal play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
then Byron's having flashbacks on being on the bottom of the pile and stuff. He was having flashbacks.
and the jaw broke right there, baby. The jaw broke.
Yes. And what kind of explanation was that from the head official? What was that?
Terrible.
That's why they booed him. They booed him. Yeah. They booed him out.
It wasn't nice. They kept saying, "Ref, you suck," and it was loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter was there. She likes Travis Kelce, so
yeah.
He was at the game.
Is that a future son-in-law, maybe, Jim?
No, it's not.
Anybody who got made 7 pretty good. They're pretty good players. So
yeah, he is. Travis is a good player, but he's not going to be my son-in-law.
Kelce,
my daughter, she can't date.
Hey, he's a Cleveland. He's a Cleveland guy too. So he like dog meat.
That's right.
Wow.
Well, he's telling the truth.
I'm telling you, he does. I'm telling you. We should go up and do all these football camps and stuff. So the coach that do the football camp with us, he was his coach. He was his coach in high school. So
yeah, and then he played at Iowa. Kelce played at Iowa, right?
Yeah,
right.
Or was his brother played at Cincinnati? But I don't. Did he play at Iowa? I think he did.
I'm not sure, Jim.
Or is that Kittle who played at Iowa? George Kittle did.
Oh, George, Kittle.
I think Kelce played at Cincinnati too.
Yeah, he's a Cincinnati kid. Yeah.
So let's change it up for a second. Let's talk a little baseball.
Oh yes.
Hey, the Yanks did it, man. Yanks did it.
Well, I
was nervous now.
Jim was mad. He was jealous of me. I was at the game at the Rangers game last week when I saw that 62 homer from Aaron Judge.
Yeah, and Byron had it in his hand and slipped, and that other guy got it.
I was in the suite, and I was getting ready to go down there to that end.
Yeah,
and I didn't get there in time. I would have got it.
Yeah.
The Yankees did play. The shocking one was the Padres beating the Mets. And then the Mets were complaining that they were stealing signals.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
You know they do that now.
They always done it.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years since baseball started.
And then the Padres got it by the Dodgers, and then Houston was interesting because Houston, that was going into double innings.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna put a memo out and tell the baseball guys they need to start doing like the football coaches.
Yeah, right. How about the one play in the Yankees game is when the guy thought he had hit a home run, and it hit the top of the fence, and it came back, and he was, and the first base coach was telling him to run.
Yeah,
that's how he got caught.
Yeah.
You got to stay alert.
And I'll tell you, Derek Cole. Listen, I've been on Derek Cole because he gives up a lot of home runs and stuff during the season. But man, did he pitch unbelievable! Everything was working for him. He's an incredible pitcher. Yeah, incredible pitcher.
This is the finals are going to be good because you looks like it's going to be Yankees and Houston.
Right,
and Houston is a tough park for the Yankees because it's a small park. And then you got the Dodgers, and the Dodgers will play. They're playing the Padres now, so they'll be out of the Mariners, and no, not the Mariners. Who's over in the who would play the Dodgers? Let me look. I can tell you right now.
Cardinals?
No, the Cardinals lost to the Cardinals. Oh, Phillies. The Cardinals lost to Philly.
Right.
The Cardinals lost to. Here's the schedule.
So maybe they play the Phillies.
So it would be Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta. Phillies and Atlanta are tied 0-0 right now. And the Phillies beat Atlanta the first game.
Right.
So they're up 1-0. And then San Diego and Los Angeles are playing now. So, and then on the other side, New York, obviously, Terry Francona is one of the most underrated coaches. He's done a nice job with Cleveland. Yeah. And then Seattle, they messed up. They had that game against Houston. But that small park is always gets you.
So if you're a Mets fan right now, what do you think? I mean, you have two of the best pitchers in the league, and they can't. You want to know
honestly what I think?
Yeah.
I would give Aaron Judge anything he wants. I give him a blank check, and you said, you write it out.
Right.
That's just honest.
Right.
You say whatever you want, you get.
Right. I mean, listen, guys, when you have two of the best pitchers in the league, the best, and you can't get out of the first round, I mean, Steve Cohen must be ticked right now. All that money he paid them.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. They had the second best record in Major League Baseball. Did you realize?
Yeah.
The second best record, and then gets knocked out by San Diego?
Yeah.
That's a no-no. That's a no-no.
I don't get it. I just well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go, and you guys continue on forward, and we'll see you soon, guys.
Hey, Matt, how about those Giants?
I'm looking up right now. I want to talk about that. The Giants, who they play this week.
Don't worry about it. We're going to win.
Baltimore, so they're going to
play the Ravens. Yeah, we play the Ravens. We play them in New York, MetLife. We play them at MetLife.
Right.
I got it. Oh, yeah. No, they can play Baltimore.
Yeah, we play Baltimore?
Yeah, you play Baltimore.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So that's a loss. Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson thing.
Not so quick there, buddy. Not so quick.
All right, guys.
Cowboys win. You got Washington. Giants lose. Philly loses. So
no, the Ravens at the Giants. The Ravens
at the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah. The Commandos at the Bears.
Yeah. Thursday night. Amazon is PO'd. Amazon paid all that money, and they're like, "Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you really serious?"
Hey man.
Well, yes.
Jim got his hat on backwards, so you know the Cowboys gonna lose this week.
Doing my Dan Quinn stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Dan Quinn this week.
Yeah, Jim is you know, he's
he'll turn their head around next week. He goes, oh man, the Cowboys lost. Let me turn my head around.
Hey, I'm not gonna be. Hey, like I told you, I'm more worried about the second half because you got to get better as the season progresses. And if we're in a good position right now,
listen,
we're 4-1. There's what?
Let me say this, Matt, before you go. If that come back and they start losing, the Cowboys Nation gonna be crying.
Oh, yeah, really?
They're gonna be crying. Cooper Rush, put it back in. Put it back in.
You know they are.
It's gonna be a big controversy here in Dallas. That happened, I'm telling you, it will be a big.
Here's the thing you got to realize. Here's their schedule after Philly: Detroit,
it's gonna be tough.
Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota. So they'll be in a good place.
Yeah. Listen, all those teams are playing good. The team that you just mentioned, they playing good football though.
Not Green Bay.
Well, Green Bay play good at home.
Yeah. And they play them at home, but we'll see. We'll see because there's something to disconnect up there. Minnesota, yes, Minnesota's going to be tough. Yeah. We all picked them to be better this year.
Yeah.
So, and then they got to give me in the New York Giants.
But man, me and you, we on the winning streak. Me and Mac on the winning streak.
Yeah, you're winning right now. But that's going to change.
Oh, it's not changing.
Baltimore.
It's not changing. I mean, listen.
Baltimore,
well, you got to give Baltimore the due. They are a good team. I mean, they got a
good struggled on defense this year.
Yeah, they ain't got the defense. Yeah, that's true. We just got to contain Lamar Jackson. If we contain him, we'll be okay.
And I don't know how
everybody says that, but they haven't done it.
I know.
Mark Andrews is playing good.
How are they going to stop Saquon?
Exactly. So Saquon
he's limited.
Saquon and Lamar Jackson playing for contracts, so they both on fire though.
Yeah. And I still question Lamar Jackson passing. I really do. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but he's suspect. And
but
Daniel
he's been
Jones
good this year. He's been looking good. He's been dropping that dime in there.
Yeah, he has. He's done a nice job.
Yeah,
and
so I can't question on that.
Daniel Jones,
he lost that game. Was it who did they play that they lost at the end of the game?
Miami.
He didn't. No, Miami and the other one too. Let me look at it.
Okay.
Let me look it up because after Lamar Jackson wins this game, you guys are going to be crying.
Listen, Daniel can run with the ball too, Jim.
Yeah, he can, but he might get broken up or something. Okay. The game before that was, God, it doesn't want to go. Let me see, Baltimore. Here you go. It was against Buffalo. They should have won that game, if you remember. And Lamar threw an interception in the end zone.
Yeah.
And then before that, it was Miami. And they beat New England pretty good, 37-28.
Right.
So
I
think it's going to be the best game.
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the overall team, the Giants versus the Ravens, the Giants' defense is better than the Ravens' defense.
Yes.
Yep.
Their running back is better than any running back Baltimore.
Oh, they don't have any running backs.
No. That's good.
The wide receivers, even. I say they're even.
Right. But the difference maker is the tight end.
Yeah, the tight end is better. That's all. That's the only thing. Tight end and quarterback. We'll
give you that. So I say the Giants win this game pretty easy.
The way the East is playing right now, I wouldn't argue with you, but I'm still picking the Ravens.
Jim, you don't learn a lot. You don't learn a lot from me and Matt, so you better be listening.
I'm picking the Ravens.
That's all right, Byron. We'll get him in that Giant jersey, that classic fan he is.
You know what my dad used to say? A hard head toast a soft butt.
Yes.
He ain't learned nothing yet.
Yes. Well, look at listen, dude, you ought to be proud of that.
That's a triple X.
Yes, it is.
Listen.
Yes, you are. It's like a dress on me.
You need to give Jim, for real though, you need to get me and Mac a jersey, a signed autograph jersey, so we don't want no crap out of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, you should be proud.
Surprising and disappointing team so far. Most surprising has got to be New York Giants.
I know the most surprising and disappointing team is the Denver Broncos.
Though I think the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, that too. That team too.
That's the team because you put all that money into Devontae Adams, and he's playing at a high level, but nobody else is.
I tell you, the surprising team is Seattle. I mean, they look different.
But I wouldn't foresee Seattle winning this week.
No, I don't. I'm just saying they've been playing good football.
But they haven't. Well, I shouldn't say that because they play the Cardinals.
Yeah,
the Cardinals are not very good. They're not. I mean, I know you love Kyler Murray, but I mean, Kyler Murray is a selfish
man. When DeAndre Hopkins come back, you'll see a different thing. I'm telling you, wait till he come back. They're gonna be just like they was last year in the second half of the season and win. Waddle.
Do the Waddle. There you
go.
Remember,
they started off they were like Philly. They started off 6-0.
No, 11-0. 11-0.
Yeah,
and they fell apart.
Yeah. That's good.
Do you think anybody would ever be an undefeated team with a 7-game roster? 17.
Not this day and time. I don't see it.
I don't think so.
And then one thing I noticed about Philly, they're starting to get injuries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it really across the board injuries. A lot of these teams are.
Yes. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
A lot of these teams are getting injuries.
The thing that bothers me is a lot of them are non-contact, right? So that means that they're not in football shape. They're not training right. Whatever it is, you can't be coming up hobbling when nobody hits you. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened to Sterling Shepard. I mean, he just ran a route. His knee went out on him.
Yeah.
So,
and it's do you think it's the turf, guys?
I think it is. I really do think it is the field.
It's a combination of, I think.
And you would know, Byron, because
I think it's a combination of not stretching enough too. I think these guys, they don't stretch. They gonna sit on the sideline and they go back out there and play. So maybe it's not stretching enough and not keeping the body warm and fine tuned. I mean, these guys are not quite in shape either. So
no,
and they eat right and they got these good healthy diets and stuff, but something is missing.
Yeah.
Do you think it's also that they've gotten so big?
Yeah, maybe so.
They are big now.
Yeah.
I think they overtrain, right, guys? I think you're sitting there, you're squatting 600 pounds. I mean, who needs to squat 600 pounds?
I know Jalen Harris. They showed him squatting all that weight. I said, what?
Yeah. I mean, who's going to hit you that hard that you got to squat 600 pounds? That's crazy.
And I think the joints can't take that pressure. That's just the joints.
I agree.
Larry Allen did 800. Shoot.
Wow.
Larry Allen
that's
was
ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they couldn't even put the weights on that out of the ball here.
It's like
bending and almost breaking. Yeah,
I saw him walking one day. He was like this.
See, the guys in the old days, and I know a lot of people think I'm nuts, but the guys in the old days, they were just naturally strong, right? They're working the farms. They're strong. I mean, they're
country strong.
Yeah,
Jim was chopping trees down up there in Jersey.
Was he? Yeah, I mean, you imagine trying to tackle Jimmy Brown today?
No.
Oh shoot, he'd be like going against Derek.
Walter Payton. Try to tackle Walter Payton.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. And Earl Campbell.
Jim Brown is like Derrick Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine?
Payton was such a good blocker
and could run, but Jim Brown could run too, though.
Yeah.
He could run. He was a heck of a lacrosse player.
Yeah.
He was one of the best. Track and field, everything. They did everything. Can you imagine Eric Campbell running today?
Earl Campbell, oh gosh. I hit him one time. Only one time when he was at New Orleans.
Yeah.
He was a load.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we had Isaiah Robinson, here. He was the president before me, and we always talk about that hit that Earl Campbell took him and carried him all the way down the football field.
Hey, but we got to. This is great conversation, but we got to go. We only got 30 seconds.
Very true.
I know the Giants are going to lose. And I know the Cowboys are going to win.
Yeah, you know when you dream a lot.
Yeah, all right, folks. Get a little bit tighter.
Right.
All right. Well, me and Matt, we on a winning streak. All I know. That's all.
Okay. Yes, you are on a winning streak.
We are.
That's going to end on Sunday. But
I definitely know that the Cowboys or either the Eagles, they're gonna be rated below the Giants.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Thanks for joining us, everybody. All the comments. Jim and Byron, always a great job as they do carrying the show. And we'll see you next week. Right?
I'm doing my Waller dance out here. See ya.
There you go. All right. Take care, guys.
All right.